Behind the Shades.
And that reminds me of a funny story where there's someone that their way of comforting you was they would have sex with you,
Ah,
right?
mm-hmm.
So it was just like this weird thing. Like you could like, oh, my mother just died. Okay. And,
Right.
and it's like this, it's
Like,
this
well, Boba,
weird, yeah,
having
it's
it
like this
here.
weird reaction. Because I could see some men saying that, oh, my uncle, my dog, my cat, like everyone's dying at that point, right? But I was trying to understand what made her think like that was the option to
That was
provide
the
to
thing to
someone,
do. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
right? Like imagine
Yeah.
instead of a shoulder, it's everything,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. That emotional, right? The emotional intelligence that's not there. And the way, yeah, I can see that. I can see the way that sometimes for some people, when they're completely at a loss, they go to what they think they have to offer, maybe, which, for that person may be sex. And yeah, there's a misalignment there. So, my goodness. Yeah,
Yeah,
what a thing.
I was trying to understand. I would ask her. I'll try to understand it. I
Mm.
was like, okay, what makes you go to that right away? Not a comforting word, not, okay, just let me
Huh.
be in your arms. Like, why is it that? Because there could be some underlying trauma there that we don't know,
Sure.
bro. Like maybe when she was going through whatever it is that she was going through, maybe that's how the person apologized or tried to make her feel better, right? It's always interesting to
Hmm.
see how people respond to traumatic events in their life. And
Hmm.
you know of that personally as well as with the women and the men and the people that you work with, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. The it's what did she say? I'm so curious. Like, was she able to answer? Did she have any insight into herself about it? Like, oh, it's because, or is it like you were speaking a foreign language?
Yeah, because she sometimes watches this. No,
Hey, hey, girl. Hey, girl.
no, she didn't have an answer. She seemed confused because it
Okay.
wasn't
Yeah.
she didn't think it was inappropriate,
Right. Right.
right? So like when you try to have that type of conversation, it's like, hey, this is not something I need at the moment. But
Mm-hmm.
then so when you try to have that conversation with her, you can see in her face that she's starting to take it as like a rejection. Because she's starting to
I
think,
see.
okay, you're turning my help down, but my help
Mhm.
is this way. But instead of just saying that, no, the type of help that you're offering is not what I need something else.
Right, right. Now that makes sense. Yeah, it's interesting. And, it's not coming from a malicious place. It's just, for whatever reason, that place of, and, sometimes I know we talk about like love language. Oftentimes we, look to give what is comforting to us, right? Which might not necessarily be the thing. So, one of the things that I've had to really learn how to do is preface sometimes what I need. Ultimately, in most contexts, it's really just three things. It's either I need empathy and encouragement, or I need resources, and or I need feedback and advice. And maybe I'm going to add a fourth category now: sex, physical touch, being held, and and so one kind of higher form of communication is beginning to actually name that at the beginning, right? Oh, I've got something on my mind, and what I could really use from you today is some empathy and encouragement, right? Or, gosh, I'm really struggling with this problem, and I could really use your advice. Like, how would you handle it? One of the things that I like about that, by kind of prefacing with the type of support, is it actually helps your listener listen from a lens, right? Because otherwise you jump on in and you're just talking, and maybe what you want is empathy, but maybe you're talking to me, and I love to listen through the lens of solving and fixing. And so that's where my brain is working as you're talking. And then we get to the end and you want empathy, and I have to, oh, okay, wait a second, like, let me reorient to that. Whereas if you tell me to listen from the lens of being empathetic or encouraging, then as you're sharing, I can really be generating that and holding that and be ready to offer that when comes the time for me to show up for you.
Yes, because I see what you mean. Because then, if you look at the five love languages, like mine would be words of affirmation, for example. So someone having that
Mm,
conversation and going from there, or even quality time. Okay, I'm going through this. Let's sit together. Let's talk about it. Where, like anything in life, you have the center point and then you have the two extremes to the left and to the right. So the physical touch, someone might take that, okay, I'm holding this person, and there might be a reaction on a sexual level, then it just deviates into
yeah.
that, right? And if you're going to use it to get over someone, when it comes to a breakup, you might as well use it to, to help someone get over someone that has maybe passed on or something along those lines.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, a way of dealing with grief or loss. Oh, interesting. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's curious. Yeah. Yeah, so, finding our voice and finding our way towards, being able, because life just is going to keep happening. I mean, I guess I'm about to have a birthday. Next Wednesday is my birthday. And, it just doesn't seem to stop, honey. And like things just keep coming. And so finding ways to stay resourced, finding ways to stay connected, trying to find better and better ways to communicate and to show up. But one thing, I mean, I'm really happy. Just this stage in life feels really good in the sense of being more grounded in who I am more than I ever have been. If you're finding that as you're getting older too, all my elders would always say to me, "It's going to be that way." And when I was young, I was like, "Whatever." But no, they were right. Of course, they were right. And it gets easier and easier in some ways to just kind of show up, do you, be yourself. Yeah.
I'm glad that I was able to survive my 20s because I love my 30s so much. And my birthday is in April.
Mm,
And before I do that, happy birthday, of course. I know it's
thank
early,
you.
but
That's all
I know
right.
you're probably turning 25, right? So
Exactly.
there you go. She's younger than me, everyone. She's younger than me. And I realized I realized that I knew nothing when I was younger, right? You don't know what you don't know. But now, like the way I view life and the appreciation I have for life as I get older is something that you're
Mm.
so right that I couldn't even imagine when I was younger.
Yeah, it's so true. And I love, you said earlier just like what we prioritize and what we value and what we feel like chasing after, right? Like, is it at the house? Is it the car? Is it the thing? And, coming into a deeper understanding about how, the relationships and the connections, these are the things that are going to comfort you in your later years and just in life in general. And not even for later years, like right now. It's just so much more meaningful and edifying and supportive in that way.